Indestructible Gaming. Select your character. Musket Shot. Mr. K. Let the battle begin. Get ready for a battle unknown. 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Indestructible Gaming and more. I'm Musket Shot. Alongside me is my co-host, Mr. K. Mr. K, hello.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode.
Another exciting episode. This one is about a game called Kyle is Famous. The developer is John Szymanski. And John has developed a couple other games. I've looked for them on Steam. One's called Rubber Ducky and the Rainbow Gun. Kind of a funny title. And another one called and the Rubber Ducky and the Rainbow Gun is kind of like the duck is a square, yellow square, and you get to shoot different things and stuff like that. Another game called Sumo Revise, A Tale of Excellence, where it's like, I guess it's up to 8 players playing as different colored sumo wrestlers, and the like red, yellow, green, blue, and you kind of fight it out, kind of like probably like a Smash Brothers type of thing. That it looks like. He's also working on actually it's out as a demo right now, and my wife actually played it at PAX East. Didn't realize it was made by him, but it's a puppet survival horror game called My Friendly Neighborhood, and that one is going to be out on. It's going to be published by Dread XP. So Dread XP had that at PAX East. And there's another game called Evil Morphs, which I don't know much about on that one. But those are some of the games that John is working on. And I think some of those games he works on with his brother as well as developing. Publisher, though, of Kyle is Famous is New Blood Interactive. And some of the games they have, I've never heard of any of these. Maybe some of these sound familiar to you. A Medieval, Ultra Kill, Dusk, Faith, Gloomwood, Super Galaxy Squadron. Any of them sound familiar to you, Mr. K?
Medieval?
A Medieval?
Is it just medieval, or is it like
a medieval? Not medieval.
Huh. No, I don't think I've heard of any of those.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. They didn't sound familiar to me. So, but you've played a lot of the other.
Yeah. And in the My Friendly Neighborhood thing you were talking about earlier. Yeah, we were talking about this before we started recording, and it is the same game as I was thinking about.
Oh, okay, good. All right, yeah.
I looked it up, and yeah, it's the same one I was thinking of.
Yeah, I think
that it has gotten some popularity with it.
Yeah, based on what I saw at PAX East from watching my wife play and some others play, it is pretty funny to watch. It's hopefully, maybe that's something that we can play and do a review on that. I know, like I said, the demo's out on Steam right now. So if you're interested in checking that out, check it out on Steam. But Kyle is Famous, released in 2019. I played a demo of it on Steam. The complete game on Steam is $15. I paid for the $5 version on the Apple iStore. So depending on what you like playing on, you'll have to check to see what's available and go from there. And I'm sure it's probably on Android and other things as well. And what did you play it on? Did you play it on your Android?
I played it on the app, the Android version.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost said Apple there. I do not have an Apple.
Yes. Okay. So you want to give a quick story, brief plot overview of this game?
Well, Kyle is Famous is pretty much a text adventure game where you choose your own path and you get to wacky places and discover things as you go on and pick things up and all those kinds of things. But within this game, you have different adventures you unlock as you go. But within the first one you get, which is when you start, you have a certain amount of hours before you go to this interview you're going to do with someone on your show. And you are supposedly famous, and you're going there for the interview.
Yeah, you host a late Kyle hosts a late night TV interview show, right?
Yeah. So you're supposed to get ready for your interview, and you have a certain amount of time, and each card you pick, because it's presented in cards, it takes away an hour of your time.
So you start off at 30 hours.
Yeah. And you start about 30 hours, and some cards have more than 1 hour. It depends on what you do. And they don't tell you. It just happens. That's what makes it more fun, because you explore new things, and the cards are really funny. Like, for example, I go into the kitchen and I look at this fridge, and I put devour fridge, and you'd think he'd go in there and eat everything that's in the fridge. No, he eats the whole fridge. That's the whole ending. He's like swallows the fridge, and yeah, he dies that way, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's different. It starts off the beginning with telling you how you're famous and you host a late night TV show and all this. Then it gets into the choices. I mean, the very first choice is get out of bed or wither. And if you wither, I won't tell you what happens, but something happens. And if you get out of bed, then something happens. And each time you pick something, like Mr. K was saying, it gives you either another choice or a couple choices or a few choices. It could be 2 choices. It could be 3 or 4 choices. It depends on how you play it. And so there's a lot of different choices. Some of them are really goofy. Some of them are sort of straightforward. But it depends on how you want to play the story.
Yeah, and supposedly the game has like over 115 endings. So that's a lot of choices to make.
Yeah. There's, and you can, if you get through it all and you get to an ending and you don't like it, you can hit reset or restart from a certain point, and you can play those cards from a certain point or reset things, or you can go right back to the main menu and restart the whole game over. The one good thing I like about it, though, is that you can, once you've had like certain cards come up that are, especially at the beginning of the game, where it's kind of, it's the same beginning each time, you can just hit skip and
skip it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to spend a lot of time reading them. You can just boo right to the next.
Yeah, because the game does have sometimes has a lot of dialogue in it. Because it's making the world around you, and it's making you choose a decision wisely, or the worst you can, I guess. Depends on how you want to play it.
Right. And there's reading, but there's also text narration as well from somebody that narrates some of it. And sometimes they'll do the voice of the characters and stuff like that. And then you hear occasionally some sound effect type stuff as well in the game.
In the gameplay part of the game, within choosing what you want and having those hours go by, you also have a certain amount of things you need to do before you go to that interview. You need to eat, because if you don't eat, you will die. That's a certain thing that will happen. It depends on what you do. Will get a certain amount of endings, but there are some things that overlap other endings, because you absolutely need to do them.
Right.
And as you do these things over and over again, you might get a certain different ending that might unlock other different playthrough things you can do that let you be other people. And I mean, like, other people, it's just Kyle. All of them revolve around Kyle getting a new occupation.
Okay. Yeah.
But you aren't getting that till later. But I'm not going to go into that too much, because that's going to spoiler territory.
Man. There is on the phone app one that I had downloaded, there is another bonus story that I could play as well, and that one was called Chad Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah, Chad Shakespeare Crash, and it takes place in outer space, and I think you're a captain of a spaceship or something like that. Similar to the Kyle is Famous, it has it's time based, so every card, it starts off at 60 minutes. So every card takes away, another minute or two, depending on what you choose. And again, a lot of the reading stuff again. I don't remember if there's any real sound effects in that one. I don't think there was as much as the Kyle is Famous one does. But I guess there's a bunch of other different ones. There's a Kyle as Santa Claus I've seen.
Yep, there's Kyle as Santa Claus. Kyle's a hot dog vendor.
There's a few different ones that they have. Have you tried any of those other ones?
Yeah, I've tried a couple of them.
Yeah.
Not too many though. I've been trying to get like all the possible endings. So that's gonna take me a while.
Right. So is the Kyle is Santa Claus and Kyle's a hot dog vendor? Is that all within the Kyle's Famous game?
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay. So I don't know. Maybe I just haven't. Maybe I just didn't.
Yeah. So once you unlock them, you just you know how it says Stanley like decided whether or not he stays in bed or withers.
Yeah.
It'll become like that. It was like Stanley would take on an occupation as a hot dog vendor, or
okay.
it would just say it there and you'd pick it.
Okay. So then there's other. Okay, maybe I just didn't. Maybe I only tried that once on that part, and I was like, oh, it's gonna happen the same thing again. Yeah, sometimes I think you have to play some of them a couple times in a row.
Those playthrough those are pretty difficult to find sometimes.
Yeah. So you have to really play around it. Sometimes I think you just got to play them over and over again to just see if it gives you the same endings or if the story changes. I know a lot of times I came up with some of the same endings or the story was going in the same way. So I kind of just went through with it and then, all right, I got the same ending or this is the same story. So, I always went back to different cards and selected different things, but maybe I just didn't get the right ones on that one. Cause I was wondering what the Kyle is Santa Claus and Kyle's a hot dog vendor. I was like, are those separate games or is that within this? And I'm just not coming across it, but okay. That makes sense.
I mean, the music was pretty good. I remember was there music?
Yeah, if there is, it's very more like little.
It was more like it interacted with what was going on.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, there's a little bit. I played it with both the volume on and off. The first couple times I played it with it off, I really wasn't expecting like music or voice narration. And then when I had the volume on, I was kind of surprised that there was voice narration because I thought it was just strictly text-based game and then I was going to just have to do all the reading and stuff like that. So I was kind of surprised when there was narration. So that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, I thought the narration added to the game and made it a lot more funny.
Yes. Yeah,
because really good narration.
Yeah, because the way the person does it and reads it and stuff like that is pretty funny. The game, like I said, I don't know how much it is on Android. It may be the same price as on Apple iStore.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
I've had it for a long time.
But on Steam, it's $15. So. Anything else that we want to talk about on this game? It's a pretty quick game. You can probably play this game multiple times, and I think probably 30 minutes if you read fast or if there isn't much.
When I first got this, I played it for at least like maybe 4 hours without stopping because I was so invested in the different endings and what else could I possibly do.
Yeah.
So it definitely kills some time for you if you've been looking for it.
Yeah. It definitely is a fun game. It's very creative in some of the choices. Some of them, like I said, you might only have like one real sort of normal choice. The rest of them are sort of the other choices you have to make are kind of really oddball, strange choices, but it makes it pretty funny to play the game. Do you have anything else that you want to add to this?
No, I mean, if you're looking for a fun adventure game that reads to you. It's very fun to play, and I think anyone that likes humorous kinds of games like that, along the lines of like Stanley Parable
Mhm.
or something like that, I feel like would definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it. I have to give it maybe like a would have been an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it I rate it as 7. Just because I like text-based adventures and I like choose your own adventure type stuff, but they're getting a lot of the same endings and other stuff kind of was at times a little boring to me. And then the big thing is the price. I'm not sure if maybe if it were a little bit cheaper on Steam, I'd buy it on Steam, but for $15
Yeah,
on Steam, that seems kind of pricey for.
yeah, I agree. I think it should be like maybe 10 or something like that, not 15.
I was like,
I
when
don't
I
know,
saw that,
15
I
is
was
just a
like,
little much.
for $15, I better get a lot out of that. So I don't know if that was really.
If you really wanted to play
Yeah.
something, just play AI Dungeon on your phone. That's a free text
Yeah.
adventure game. You don't need to
Yeah.
pay $15 for this.
Yeah.
It's a good game. Don't get me wrong, but the AI Dungeon is free on your phone and it's procedurally based, so you can create your own story or go off your own story. And
Mhm.
like I said, it's free. You don't have to pay $15 for it, and it's traditional. It's not based on like little QR cards, not QR cards, just regular cards. And yeah, just go play that if you want to play a true text adventure. But this is also pretty good.
Right.
Should not be $15. I
Right.
agree.
Yeah. So that's our ratings and review on Kyle is Famous. So that Kyle is Famous, and now on to another game that we played. And this is a game that we actually was contacted about from the developer. It's called Dragon Saddle Melee, and it's developed and published by Main Tank Software. And this came out in January 2022, and it's on Steam right now. I don't know if it's going to be on any other consoles or anything like that yet. They do have another game out, and I didn't get a chance to try it yet, but it's called Hexarchy, and it's a turn-based deck building game. But yeah, I may try that one out as well. But Dragon Saddle Melee, like I said, just came out in January and played it on Steam. So I'll let Mr. K just tell you a brief overview of what this game is about.
Well, it's if you ever played that arcade game Joust, that's essentially it. You go around screen battling opponents on these dragons instead of the iconic, what would you say, ostriches that were
I don't know. I guess yeah.
That's like the easiest way to call them, space ostriches.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's pretty much that game. If you enjoyed Joust, I'm sure you enjoyed this game because it's along the similar lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Except sometimes you get a gun.
Yeah. Whereas Joust, it was just pretty much what do you call it? Those jousting poles there, whatever they're called. I'm not up on my jousting words there, but yeah, you basically you fly on a. Was your dragon green when you played? Do you remember?
I think mine was blue.
Blue.
But
okay, I'm wondering if it depends on.
I think it's just random each time. I could be wrong though.
I think each time I played my dragon was green, and then they have like red dragons that are like computer AI type controlled dragons, and then there's other players because you can play either solo, which I did that just for practice purposes and stuff like that. But then I played online with other people online, and I think all their dragons were like blue or something like that.
Yeah,
and it has like their name above them, so you know if they're an online player.
Yeah. So the aesthetics is pretty much like speaking of colors, the aesthetics is kind of like I would say like the 80s what's it called? It's a certain type of genre. Uh it's like all wiring, like robotic synthwave. That's the
Oh,
word.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
all synthwave.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the aesthetic you're going for. Kind of like if you ever played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, kind of like that. But yeah, it's pretty much like that, like Joust. And you guys start with, I think, what was it, 5 lives, I think?
Yep.
5 or 6.
5 lives. Yep.
5 lives, and you go down to 0. I don't know if it was me, if it was the game or me. But I remember one match I played online, and it got to the point where I was just by myself.
Yep.
I don't know. It didn't say I won or anything. I was just kind of there in limbo. I don't know if everyone left or if I won.
No,
I
you
was very unsure.
yeah, you probably did win because that happened to me a couple of times too, where I was the only one on the board playing, and then once I finally died, like there was like a leaderboard, and I was at the top of the leaderboard. So yeah, you probably did, survive and were the winner of the round. Like I think a lot of the rounds are timed like maybe a couple minutes long, and then the board sort of changes, so it becomes, there's different weight, different things on the boards that
it
happen.
changes up what things you do each time as well. Like
Right.
one would say survive, or one would say claim the platforms for lives, or
Yeah,
something along those lines.
yeah. Well,
And
there's
the music is also synthwave-esque. So
yes, yeah, yeah. Like some of the like one of the rounds was like stay off the heated platforms. So all the platforms are like red hot. So if you land on one of the platforms, you die, type of thing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It has a lot of different weapons that can be used. There's like a bow and arrow. There's a gun. There's some
the
kind of
crossbow.
yeah. There's like a fire or steam type thing that you can use. And then to kill the enemies and the other players, you similar to Joust, you land on top of them. So you have to be just above them and hit them. You can hit each other head to head, and you just bounce off each other, kind of like in Joust.
You can also just shoot them dead. That's also a thing that you can do.
Yeah, if you have the weapons, you can just shoot them, which is you can do that, and then the weapons will run out. Depends on how much ammo.
Yeah, and the weapons seem to have a little bit of time before they can be fired again, because you can't just spam that button and shoot repeatedly.
Right.
Trust me, I tried.
Yeah, and if you die, it's usually because an enemy or somebody's hit you from above, or you've flown up into somebody or something like that. So the game is easy to control. I mean, the gameplay is pretty easy. You're just hitting like an A button, and your dragon is flying up in the air, and you're controlling the dragon left, right, up and down. The hard part is sometimes where you're going up, and then all of a sudden somebody comes like flying right above you. It's pretty hard to stop sometimes your momentum. So you end up you can easily get yourself knocked out pretty quickly a couple times if you're not careful. You have to sort of play pretty well, just trying to avoid everybody. And early on, I usually start like trying to be up all the way up to the top, and then sort of at the beginning when it starts, and sort of work my way down and bounce around from there.
Does this game have can you invite your friends in this? I don't think I didn't see anything of it. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. But
so I was hoping, because I wanted to see if I can maybe invite you, and then we could,
right,
go into a match together. But I didn't see that. But
yeah, I didn't either. I don't know if that had that or not. It might. If not, then hopefully that's something that they do add in there. I know
I just missed it if it's there, but
yeah, I might have missed it too. I didn't see that. Each time when I played online, I just clicked play, and then I was brought into like one of the game boards, and then people started coming in, and the different AI bots started appearing. And at the beginning, there's like a countdown clock, so you have a lot of time to just kind of float around, do stuff. There's like sometimes there's these big round, like electronic looking balls that you can bounce around and knock around all over the place, and you can get knocked around and knocked out like as many times as you want. You don't lose any lives until the clock hits 0 and the real game starts. Then you have to be careful about it. But like I said, it seems pretty easy to play, and the rounds can go pretty quick. And if you die and everybody's still in there, you can sort of watch the other players play by just hitting a button and flipping around from player to player, so you can see how they're doing. So that's, I think, pretty much most of the game, right? I mean, I don't know if we're missing anything on it.
No, there's not really much to talk about for this game. It's a decently small game. Do you want to rate it with 0 to 5, 1 to 5, or?
Yeah, we could do. It doesn't matter. Whatever one you rate, I'll do.
I don't know. I feel like 1 to 5 is a pretty fair thing for this game.
Okay.
Because it's decently small.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go first. I want to hear what you had to say.
Okay. Well, I like the game a lot. I used to own Joust on my Atari 2600 years ago, and I used to play it in the arcade. So this game brought back some memories for me, and the gameplay was very familiar to me. So once I did the sort of the practice round, I felt pretty comfortable with just jumping into playing. And I had fun playing against other people. I don't know if any of them were any of the developers of the game. Who knows? That maybe or maybe not. But it seems like it's a lot of fun to me. And it's just, to me, it's like, you can go on there for 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour, and play a few rounds and jump off and just have some fun. For me, I think rating it wise from 1 to 5, I'd rate it a 4 out of 5. I like the gameplay. It's easy. I like the fact that there's other weapons too, unlike in Joust, and there might have been stuff in Joust too. Weapons that I maybe I'm not remembering, but like in this game, there's like little, like when you kill some of the bots, they'll drop like a box or a weapon or something like that. So I don't remember there being. I remember there being little eggs in Joust that would drop when you killed your opponents. And I'm trying to remember if that created a weapon or gave you a weapon. I wish I would have checked it before we started doing this podcast. I just didn't think about it till just now. But yeah. So anyways, I like this game. I'd rate it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. I never really grew up with Joust, so it's not that like, not that I don't like the game. I guess it's a lot smoother than Joust, trust me. Joust felt like you were on ice, in my opinion, and
yeah,
it was very hard to land or anything. In this game, they made it a lot more easier, which I do very much appreciate. But I was a huge fan of Joust in the first place, so coming into this game, you already had me off at like a bad spot. But I did like the aesthetics a lot, and I do like dragons, so that's a plus. I do think this game is fun, yes, but I do think this game has a lot more potential than what it's given. I feel like there could be more items, more different things that you could do. Maybe a bigger map or something like that, or different maps of different kinds or different obstacles or something like that. For me, I don't know, it needs something, because once I'm done with everything, I don't feel accomplished after doing that in the game. The game is fun, but it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, because Musket Shot rated at a 4 out of 5, so it's probably just me. I mean, I played a lot of games, so I mean, maybe it's just the fact that I'm used to having more things in games, and coming to this, which is an indie game, I somehow expect more.
Mhm.
but I played a lot of indie games too. So that's my opinion. You guys do what you want. Definitely check the game out. If you guys like Joust or any any classic type games, check it out.
Mhm.
But I'd have to give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that. That's fine. So those were our 2 games for this episode. So our next episode we'll do another 2 games actually, because sometimes some of the games are sort of short or not as involved as other games that we play. So sometimes it's nice to be able to do a couple of games. So our next episode we'll do Slay the Spire. So if you've ever heard of that or seen that one, we'll be playing that and doing a review on that. And then also Century Age of Ashes. Is that correct? Do I have the title right?
Yep,
okay.
You got it. Yeah, Century Age of Ashes. You got it.
So another game with dragons in it. So we'll do a podcast on those 2 games next time.
And then after that will be How to Train Your Dragons for the Nintendo Wii.
Oh, really? They have that?
No, I want to be surprised. They have pretty much any licensed game for any console.
They probably have it as a VR game, right?
I'd be surprised if they did. I doubt it. It's not that new.
Yeah,
Or at least not that popular enough.
Well,
to make a VR game out of it.
I didn't think that movie was that big of a hit, but Universal's Epic Universe, the new theme park they're building, is going to have a How to Train Your Dragon section at the theme park. So,
yeah, it's a pretty big franchise.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have a Nintendo franchise, a Nintendo section there. So, and a Harry Potter section. And when they mentioned that they were going to have a How to Train Your Dragon, I was like, oh, there's that many people that are into that movie. I didn't know that, but I'm a little out of it with some of those movies. So it does, if it, maybe if I grew up at the time that it came out as a young kid, maybe I would have totally been into it. But now it's like, okay, whatever. So anyways, those will be our 2 games that we do on our next episode. Okay. Anything else you have, Mr. K?
Not much. That's it.
Okay.
Other than stay indestructible, folks. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Game over.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you enjoyed the episode. We're on Facebook and Twitter, and if you go on our website with the same name, you can also find us on all the other kinds of stuff you can listen to us to. Anyways, hope you have a wonderful day, folks. Stay indestructible, and peace.